Gentlemen, as we watch this, we knew Donald Trump, one of his goals in the first part of his second term was to end this conflict. We marked 3 years on Monday. And remarkably, on Friday, there was a minerals deal and there was movement. Blaine, I'll let you start first on the significance of Zelensky coming here and what this message will send also to Putin watching this signature here in D.C.
Yeah, I think again, American strength now returning to the forefront is essential to getting this war that never needed to be fought off-ramped. But it does a lot of things. It gives Ukraine a way out. Now we can get to a ceasefire. Now we can get to terms and definitions about what the final agreement's going to end up being. We can't shirk the realities of the battlefield of what's happened over the last 3 years. But maybe there's enough leverage with Russia, and I believe there is, to work back some of the lands they occupy now back into Ukrainian hands. The reason is because that ruble is crashing, and Putin needs access to European markets.
I'm so glad you went there, because that's the carrot that Trump is dangling. Very smart. And we've already seen Putin say, I could do this, I could do that, if sanctions perhaps are lifted. So giving a little bit of leverage due to his economic issues as well because of the ongoing war. Let's play a little bit of Donald Trump talking about Putin at the negotiating table and get your reaction on the other side, Darin.
Of all the deals that you've done in your life, all the people you've sat across from and negotiated with, is President Putin distinct in any way?
He's a very smart guy. He's a very cunning person. But I've dealt with some people I've dealt with some really bad people. But I will tell you, as far as this is concerned, you have to understand, he had no intention, in my opinion, of settling this war. I think he wanted the whole thing. When I got elected, we spoke, and I think we're going to have a deal.
Donald Trump's relationship with Putin different than Joe Biden's, and communication has been reestablished, and it may actually bring an end to this conflict. Darin, your reaction to how the president framed the answer to that question. Obviously, part of diplomacy is allowing the other side to save a bit of face as well. And so the optics may seem jarring, but he wants to end the killing.
Yeah, Bianca, that's the key right there, is it's time to end the killing, because the people who are dying on the battlefield are not the ones on the negotiating table. They're not the ones that are potentially taking a hard stance on either side of any issue to the point where we just return back where we were, which is two nations fighting each other with no strategic purpose or end in sight. We know Russia wanted the whole country. That was pretty clear from the beginning. We know now that Zelensky wants his whole country back, and that's part of his position also. So now the question then becomes, through just simply talking and working the deals and the different exchanges, can we put together the entire puzzle and create a picture where this war can end and we can stop pointing fingers at each other? Because history will judge who's at fault, who started what, when did all this begin, and that'll take time too. But for now,
and history will judge, obviously, too. Yeah, history will judge this administration, and perhaps is having a very significant role in ending the killing that was 3 years in. You know, Donald Trump also choosing his words wisely, Blaine, when he was asked about China and Taiwan. Obviously, when we talk about the rare earth minerals deal that we're signing here with Volodymyr Zelensky, you know, there's also China, who has the same type of resources as well, and they're watching this closely. I want to play what he said and talk to you about this on the other side.
Mr. President, you've been very clear in saying that as long as you're president, Iran will never get a nuclear weapon.
That's true.
Is it also your policy that as long as you're president, China will never take Taiwan by force?
I never comment on that. I don't comment on anything because I don't want to ever put myself in that position. And if I said it, I certainly wouldn't be saying it to you. I'd be saying it to other people, maybe people around this table, and very specific people around this table.
You know, Biden used to talk about China quite a bit, and this is a stance that Donald Trump is taking. Your reaction, Blaine, to this? And obviously Donald Trump saying at another point here that we're going to have a good relationship with China, with Ukraine, with Russia.
Yeah, it's a great exchange with James Rosen, and what the president smartly did was said, I'm not going to say anything at all because I've got to work the diplomacy back and forth between Taiwan and China. There are realities in China. Their banks are failing left and right as we are speaking right now.
Bye.